Hello there, my movie lovers. I am now back home where I should be, surrounded by my spooky stuff. So let's talk about some news. Some of the things we'll be discussing here today, guys, is I'll mainly be catching up on the things I missed the last couple of days since I was at Fantastic Fest. We'll be going into the actor they have chosen to play Hal Jordan Green Lantern in the DCU. Some really weird updates with Scream 7 letting you know things are just not going smoothly for that movie. And another horror franchise where things aren't going so smoothly, Saw 11. Looks like we're going to have to wait longer than we thought. We'll be diving into that along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Leave your opinions, timestamps in the description, and well, let's just jump into our first movie news story. First thing I want to discuss here today is our first trailer for Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler's new movie titled Sinners. Now, this is a movie that's kind of been on my radar, and I believe I've talked about it here on the channel with you guys, where all we knew about the movie is that it was a vampire flick taking place during the Jim Crow era of our history. There was even rumors that the movie was like the KKK versus vampires, and I was like, okay, crazy, but I want it. And you know what? With this 2-minute trailer, they still seem to be a little vague and mysterious with what's going down on this movie, but I like it. The movie still doesn't come out till March of next year, so it's nice just to tease that this is happening. We got Michael B. Jordan, who will be playing twin roles in the movie. If I had to guess, I'm guessing his other half is evil, especially when you take a look at this poster. He could be probably the head of the vampires, and his more human half is going to get together a group of people to fight them off. Haley Steinfeld is also part of this movie. I'm just like super excited about it, especially because they just didn't reveal so much in the trailer, so I'm glad they're keeping some secrets. Ryan Coogler has yet to make a bad movie. All his films I've really enjoyed. Count me extremely excited for this movie. What do you guys think about Sinners? And well, another trailer that we all kind of saw a month ago was we finally got revealed the official trailer for Thunderbolts. Now, I will say it's not the exact same trailer that leaked online thanks to Comic-Con. There are added tidbits and more action shots, but now that we can fully look at it, I can now reiterate my thoughts again. I am looking forward to this. I think the movie looks surprisingly great. It has some grit, seriousness. Yeah, you have a joke here and there, like with Bucky taking out his arm from the dishwasher, but the action scenes themselves look really good. Like Ghost looks awesome, way better than any scene she had in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Kind of excited to see US Agent again, and I like how they're peering into their double lives, how they're all just waiting for something big to do, only to be tricked into a mission that was supposed to kill them. We did unfortunately get the disappointing reveal that Val is the one who bought Avengers Tower. A 10-year mystery just evaporated like that in a random trailer. And I mean, with the poster also saying careful who you assemble, I think it's so obvious what the little asterisk in Thunderbolts is going to be by the end of the movie. This is the MCU's version of the Dark Avengers, and by the end of the film, that's what this movie will be called. Only thing I'm not loving is Bucky's hair, but I am loving that they're making Bucky a badass again, because after Winter Soldier, Bucky was just continuously nerfed. Not to see him actually go after a car full of villains and take out a whole military vehicle with one arm, I'm like, yes, we needed this Bucky back. So I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts. Movie could still be but trailer gives me hope. Moving on from there, it was revealed today that Robocop is moving forward with its TV series thanks to Amazon and MGM. One of the cool parts of doing YouTube is because I am older, experience-wise, not quite yet unk status, as the kids like to say, I can take a movie from my youth and highly recommend it to you and probably scar you, and Robocop is the movie I need you to check out, little Timmy. Don't let your parents know, Timmy. Just watch it, experience it. I am a big fan of the old Robocop movies, and I've always liked the concept himself and just the look of Robocop. I want some new Robocop in my life, and I'm still devastated we never got Neil Blomkamp's Robocop Returns. It was like in the works, about to happen, and then the pandemic hit, and then everything got skewed. Doesn't look like we're really headed for another Robocop movie, but a TV show. Honestly, I can get behind that. There used to be a time period where you would tell me this movie property was getting the TV show treatment. I'd roll my eyes, I'd go, oh man, that's so lame. But TV budgets and the way they go about being executed has drastically changed. This Robocop TV show is probably going to look as good as the Robocop movie was going to look. I'm also loving that it looks like James Wan and his label Atomic Monster will be part of the producing team for this. The reason I love that is because, again, Robocop is one of those properties that had a twinge of horror to it, didn't lean fully into the horror, but it was an element that I felt was lacking in like the Robocop reboot that came out that I didn't think think was awful, but I really didn't love it like I did old Robocop. And if you go back and watch that first Robocop movie, it is like violent. It is graphic. It is bloody. It's horrific for what was supposed to be a simple action movie. And I feel like having James Wan attached will inject those elements back in, and I hope we get the ultra graphic, violent Robocop TV series. So hopefully this turns out good, and it better happen, man, because this wouldn't be the first time you promised me Robocop and I don't get Robocop. And well, on this topic of TV shows, let's move on to the DCU and the Green Lantern series. It has been a mystery the past couple of weeks who is going to play Hal Jordan. We thought it was Josh Brolin. It said he was offered the role, but then it was reported he turned it down. Then we were given a list of actors in Hollywood who are mainly known for being movie stars, and many fans had their different picks of who they wanted. So come to my surprise, it's being reported right now Kyle Chandler in talks to star in Lantern's DC series for HBO. A name none of us were expecting, and also, no offense to Mr. Kyle Chandler, looks like they went from movie star to TV star. I have so many thoughts in my mind, man. I have been one of the people that have always yelled, I love Green Lantern. Not just Hal Jordan, but just the Green Lantern concept as a whole. These police officers in space with a ring that conjures up whatever their minds can create. I'm like, this should be $1 billion franchise, and it sucks that one mediocre Ryan Reynolds movie has ruined the Green Lantern name. It's because of that movie that I feel like they're never going to attempt another Green Lantern movie. It's just been reduced to a TV show when the Green Lanterns are such cool characters. But putting that stuff aside, look, I don't mind Kyle Chandler. I look at him and seeing what they're trying to go with, an older, grizzled Hal Jordan who's going to be mentoring Jon Stewart. I think he can pull it off. I've never really seen him give a bad performance, but I wouldn't really say I've ever seen him give a super memorable one. The only other part that did make me sad is they were saying that Kyle Chandler's deal is only for television. There is no movie inclusion in here. And that automatically led fans to believe Hal Jordan's dying in this series, and when he dies, that mantle's being passed on to Jon Stewart. It makes me even think further that, is Jon Stewart even going to be a Green Lantern by the time this show starts? You know, they said that their inspiration for this Green Lantern show is something like True Detective, where it's going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart trying to solve a mystery on Earth that'll lead to bigger repercussions in the DCU. And most of us just thought, okay, they'd both be Green Lanterns. One would be new and kind of unexperienced, while Hal Jordan will teach him what to do. What if actually the whole time Hal Jordan is the only one with Green Lantern powers? Jon Stewart is just a human helping him out through this mission. By the end, Hal Jordan dies, and who does that ring go to? Jon Stewart. Seems like that could be a very big possibility, and I'm betting you Jon Stewart, whoever actor they cast for that, he's gonna have a movie deal because he's showing up in Justice League or whatever other things they have planned. I know I'm sounding kind of negative, but at the end of the day, I'm just glad we're at least getting some Green Lantern, and hopefully this show is just good enough that it propels that brand to a bigger status, because I'd love me some more Green Lantern in my life. But you guys see that Kyle Chandler is looking to be our Hal Jordan. How you feeling about this? Bringing us now to talk about some horror movies. Let's begin off with Saw 11. Oh man, us Saw fans were finally winning. We just had Saw X that released last year, and it was one of the best Saw movies made in a really long time. It was so good that they immediately announced Saw 11 would be happening, and it was set to release October of this year. However, earlier this year, they let us know, oh, we're going to take some time. We don't want to rush this movie, so we're moving it now to the year 2025. And although that made some of us Saw fans a little sad because we're like, hey, you're on a roll, keep doing this. Them having the hesitancy to delay the movie, get the story down right, lets us know, all right, they're not just trying to cash grab. They realize if they make a good Saw movie, it'll make a lot more than a Saw movie that's bad and just rushed out. Well, it looks like we got bigger problems to worry about. Thanks to our friend Viewer Annan, who used to always give us news on horror movie franchises like Saw and Scream, but they've slowed down a bit. They did decide to let us know what's going on with the Saw franchise, saying, this is a bummer, but I've heard from multiple sources that unless there's a big change, Saw 11 probably isn't coming in 2025 either. When a fan asked him if there was any reason why, he responded with creative disagreements among the producers apparently, making us Saw fans even more sad because now we're not having to wait an extra year. Looks like we're gonna have to wait 2 years, possibly 3, before we get another Saw movie. Now, again, I am back and forth. If they are really trying to get this story down right and tell us something that is worth telling in the Saw universe, then take your time. But it looks like whatever direction they are going in, they just can't agree on. And at the same time, I don't even know where you go with Saw at this point. The last movie was an in-between sequel that took place between Saw 1 and 2. Do you really then make another sequel that's another in-between sequel, like between Saw 2, 3, and 4? Is Tobin Bell even coming back for this one? A lot of questions up in the air. I'd kind of hate it if we again just jump to another story, because it feels like the last 4 or 3 Saw movies have not really connected to one another. Whether you're talking about Jigsaw, Spiral, or Saw X, they are all kind of almost anthology random stories in the Saw universe. Is that the route you keep going with? Is not really trying to keep connecting things, but just telling a fun random story in the Saw world? I don't know, but I am kind of bummed we have to keep waiting. Hopefully it turns out good. And there is a part of me that goes, it's gonna be fun to have like a 3-4 year wait, and then a Saw movie comes out. It makes it feel more like an event. So I'm trying to look on the bright side of that, but what do you guys think? Bringing us now to talk about Scream 7. Oh, I like how we've kind of been talking about Scream a lot lately. It is the season. And well, on the last Sideflick, we talked about a spin-off in the Scream universe, but now it's time to talk back about the main series continuity with Scream 7, and things are not looking good. We know this movie has faced a ton of controversies, a lot of things going against it. And with this latest update, it again makes the movie feel like, why is Paramount so desperately trying to make this work? Variety did an interview with Courtney Cox where she flat out admits that she has not officially signed on to Scream 7, and that she also hopes Dewey can come back and appear in the movie. And man, that wasn't just all. She was making it clear that the writing process for Scream 7 is kind of a mess. I can't wait later on in the future for them to reveal what the original plan for Scream 7 was, or maybe what other ideas they had tossed around, because Courtney Cox does say this: they're rewriting all the time. It's not like I don't know what's going on. And that doesn't sound good. This movie was supposed to be made long ago, and they are still currently rewriting. That's kind of what happens when you toss aside your main characters you were following. Now, do I think Courtney Cox will eventually star in Scream 7? Yeah, I think she will. The reason she hasn't signed on yet is because she just said it. They're still rewriting it. Why would she sign the dotted line agreeing to be part of a movie where she doesn't even know what her character is going to be doing or where she ends up? Imagine she signs on to the project and they kill her off, and she'd be pissed. She's like, no, I want to be part of Scream 8, 9, 10, 11 for the rest of my life. I do not want this. And they're like, oh, sorry, Courtney, you already signed. So it seems to me like Courtney just wants to sign once she's happy with the script they got. And it looks like one big thing holding her back is she really wants Dewey to return, aka David Arquette, which in a weird side note is super sweet. If you're a Scream fan and know the history of these two actors, where they met on set of the first Scream movie, they got married, stayed together through a couple sequels, eventually got divorced, like their relationship has been built on the Scream sequels. And then to hear your ex-wife say this about you being part of the movie, I understand the reason they did it, but whoa, talk about a missed character. Cox said, Dewey is so loved by Scream fans, they have to figure it out. I wonder if part of the reason is she wants them to figure out a way to bring Dewey back to life, undo his sacrifice, or stay realistic and maybe figure out some like flashback scenes where he can be included in some form or another in the movie. So I don't know, it'll be interesting. You guys have said I'm upset with the way Scream 7 has gone, but as a big fan of the franchise, I know I'm gonna be there day one. And with everything going on, it feels like they're gonna end up making fan service the Scream movie, because every decision they've been making so far is to appease the lifelong fans. Bring back Sidney Prescott, have Kevin Williamson direct it, Dewey might return. I don't know, we'll wait and see, but Courtney Cox coming out and saying they're rewriting that thing all the time. It's letting you know that we don't even know what this movie's gonna end up looking like. What are your hopes and wishes for Scream 7? But that is all movie news we currently have going on right now, guys. I want to thank so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.